So welcome back to the channel. I have my Ram 3500 Limited and I have a limited Longhorn behind it. And what I want to do today is I want to do a quick comparison of the interior. So we're going to start off with the seats here. So these cabs are very different, and as you know, for the 5th generation, for the 1500s, they did replace the old cab. On the Ram 3500s, this is basically considered a 4.5 gen, and so a lot of things did not transfer over. So when you take a look at the seats here, you can clearly tell these seats are a little bit shorter on the bottom here, and even the seat back is slightly different too. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. I know it's probably hard to see, but this seat is definitely a little bit deeper in comparison. And the seat back is kind of similar, but it's definitely a little different from how I sit in my chair. So when I sit back in this one, I can tell the bottom piece is definitely longer. And the seat back is kind of the same as mine, I guess, now that I think about it. But take a look at this steering wheel. Let's see if the steering wheel is different. So you see the wood part of it, and check this out. All right, so I'm gonna turn it sideways so you guys can see. So the buttons are slightly different from the newer 5th gen 1500, and that's probably the biggest difference. But I think the steering wheel might be new for the Ram 3500s. Now, the biggest telltale, and I hate this about my truck, the littlest things bother me, so I apologize. Do you see how this cuts off right here? This is how you know this is the old cab, because when I show you the 5th gen 1500, it just looks so much nicer in comparison. So check this out. All right, let's take a look at that 1500 now. So as you can see, this newer interior for this new cab fits perfectly. And you see how it doesn't have that little cutoff there? I hate that. I love how this one just finishes off all the way to the end. And even the entire door card, for that fact, is so much nicer. Let me show you the one on mine. So as I mentioned, this is the older cab, so it has the older door card design that was from the 2018 and earlier trucks. Now, as far as your space, I'm gonna put the seat, okay, it's all the way back. Now I want you to really consider my space here in this truck. Really get a good feel for it. Here, I'll put it all the way up right there. That way you have a really good feel for what I'm trying to show you next. Alrighty. So I have the seat all the way back, and I'll check that out. Can you see what I'm trying to show you? So I was very much so a proponent of keeping my MegaCab, but if they do redesign the Ram HDs to a true 5th gen, I definitely will take this cab over mine, because this is a lot bigger. And the space you have is just so much better. I think that this interior fits a lot better in here. Even up here, for example. I mean, although this is about the same as my truck too. So the dash doesn't really change much. However, the windshield is definitely bigger in here. So I do think that this dash, you know, does fit a lot better in here versus mine. Alrighty, so let's talk about the crown jewel for me. Sorry for the beep, I'll make it stop here in a second. So I just want to open up a little bit. So as you can see, this one does have the panoramic sunroof. You cannot get this in the 4.5 gen Ram HD. So that's something else I'm actually excited for too, is maybe getting a bigger sunroof. Now let's see what else. Out back, these rear seats do recline. They do not recline as much as my MegaCabs, but if you got a crew cab Ram HD, you would not have that function at all. But overall, the flat floor surface back here, you don't get that in the MegaCab or the crew cab. And you do have the availability to have cooled rear seats too on the Limited. It may be an option for the Limited Longhorn, but from what I can tell you, it's definitely not available for the HDs. And I just wanted to show you the door card for the rear seat. Might be a better look right there. Now here's mine, so just take note of this. All right. Again, it's not bad. It's definitely not bad, but this is basically the 2018 door card with just some enhancements, more or less. And as I showed you guys, you know, you don't have the hump. Although this hump's not bad. I don't want to pick on my truck too much. This hump is actually okay in here. And the one thing I will miss is these rear seats do recline a lot more than the new cabs will. And up top on the roof, this one did have the speakers and mine. And just to show you up back, you have tons of storage in the rear. But there's no availability to have cooled seats. However, you do have the heated seats. And I think this cab is definitely, I have the seat all the way back, right? And I feel as though this is adequate enough, but I think that the new 5th Gen 1500 is definitely bigger. Now, you do have a hump right here, so it does provide a little bit more headroom, right? So let's check it out on the 1500 now. Oh, wow. Wow. This is huge. So this seat's all the way back, and I have it kind of lean back a little bit more, and you can clearly tell you have a lot more space. Now, you don't have the hump out back, but I think because this one has the sunroof, it might be just a little bit lower because of that. Before ending off the video, I thought it would be a good idea to compare the MegaCab HD, Crew Cab half ton, and the Crew Cab HD. Now, all the trucks are going to have the same bed, but keep in mind you can get a smaller bed on the half ton. Now, let's start off with the exterior dimensions down below. So exterior length, no surprise, the MegaCab is going to be the biggest one of the bunch. But second place was going to go to the Crew Cab half ton, because of course that 5th Gen cab is just a little bit bigger than the 4th Gen HD, or 4.5 Gen HD, if that's what you want to call it. As far as the exterior body width goes, I was very surprised by this. I mean, this is a pretty big jump compared to the HD, so that Crew Cab half ton is definitely a larger cab in comparison. Now, moving on down, exterior body height, this doesn't really matter because HDs are going to be a little bit taller, and as you can see, the Crew Cab HD is actually a little bit taller than the MegaCab, which is surprising. Now, as far as wheelbase goes, pretty surprising that the wheelbase on the HD is a little bit shorter than the half ton, and the MegaCab obviously has a little bit longer wheelbase there. Front track, rear track, you guys can see those numbers there. Be sure to pause if you want to see more. Turning radius is right here. Now, as far as the pickup box cargo length, you see this, they're all the same. But if you look at the pickup box minimum width, it does change a little bit on the MegaCab. Same thing goes for the pickup box maximum width. It's a little bit smaller than what you're seeing here in inches on the MegaCab. I'm not sure why that is. But as far as front legroom goes, now this is going to be the interior side of things. They're all the same, so I was very surprised to see that. I feel like there's a little bit more legroom on the Crew Cab half ton, but it just could be in my head, or it just could feel that way. As far as the rear legroom goes, the Crew Cab half ton does have more than both the MegaCab and Crew Cab HDs. Front headroom, they're all the same. Rear headroom, you get a little bit more in the MegaCab compared to the Crew Cab half ton and the HD Crew Cab. Front hip room, this is what I noticed. I think that like I mentioned in the video, that lower cushion is a little bit bigger up front, and I think you can see that, you know, when you see these numbers here for that. Rear hip room is a little bit more on this truck, which is the Crew Cab half ton. Now, as far as front shoulder room goes, it just barely beats out the other two trucks that are HDs. And as far as the rear shoulder room goes, just barely edges it there as well. Now, this is where you can really tell that this truck's pretty big when I'm talking about the 5th Gen Crew Cab half ton. 125 cubic feet, 132, and then 130 for the MegaCab. So this cab is pretty big, and I think you can really see how big it is when you're sitting in the back seat. You have a lot more floor space, so I like that about this cab design. And I guess if Ram did stop making the MegaCab, I wouldn't be too upset. So I figured I wanted to show that to you guys, and I think that it should be helpful. And in the comment section, do you still think Ram should make the MegaCab? I don't know. I think they should, but I don't think I'd be upset if they stopped. But hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. That's pretty much all I wanted to show you. This was just a quick video for you. And I definitely can't wait to see what Ram does for the new HDs, because I think it is long overdue now for the cabs.